Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to February, everyone. On this cold start to the day, it's about 9:33. As of this recording, I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to SnowTALK, which it seems like it's been 3 Wednesdays, right? It's been a long week of these little minor systems, but enough to cause some headaches out there. So just kind of a heads up on a couple slick spots. They're still going to be out there, but overall, everyone's in decent shape here today. And the cold weather is really the headline. So we're going to focus on the wave coming in tonight for part of the area, if any. I'll explain. And then I'll get into the outlook for the longer term. All right. But overall, things are taking a nice little break. And I'm sure for meteorologists, we're happy about that. So our SALT crews, I'm sure they need a break too. It's been a long 3 or 4 days of these minor systems, but just enough to keep things, I guess, elevated and certainly slick at times. Hope you guys are doing well. If you have a comment, question, or anything like that, just let me know. Nancy already saying, I'm seeing that salt truck coming through the neighborhood. What's going on? Well, I think it's handling 6 spots right now for the area, but I don't think there's anything to worry about for later on, and I'll explain. Before I get to, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. There's something I need to mention. Before I do that, let me just go ahead and show you the snowboard, and notice that there is no item listed here. I have it blank, mainly because I don't think the wave tonight is anything to worry about. And there is a small snow chance Friday morning. I'll get to that. I don't think it's worth to be on the board. So as of now, yeah, within the range that I like to go for a couple of weeks, I'm going to keep it blank. I know. Got busy all of a sudden, then blank it. But we did this in January. We had a crazy December. Then in January, we had that chance to thaw out. I think we're going to enter another little break period coming our way. But winter, when I can look at in the longer range, I do not think it is certainly done, as you'll see in a second. All right, the one thing that I wanted to mention real quick, and this has nothing to do with weather related here, want to mention that the Clark Memorial Bridge is closed at the moment. Apparently, there has been a shooting. I'm not exactly sure on which side the bridge this has taken place. But again, the Clark Memorial, both directions to Kentucky and Indiana, is closed. I did not get an ETA on when it would reopen again. So if you have any plans to head to Kentucky using 2nd Street or vice versa, or you know someone that normally will likely do that, heading to an office or a doctor's appointment or something like that, I would avoid that area. So again, the 2nd Street Bridge, Clark Memorial, currently closed in both directions. We'll keep you updated on the Wave News app, so make sure to check that out for much more. All right, back here on the weather side, we are keeping an eye on cold temperatures this morning. We did see a bit of snow. I walked outside and my car was covered in a light coating of snowfall, again, a dusting, just enough to get the scraper back out again. And the neighborhood actually wasn't too bad. But we got cold this morning as expected. That was our biggest concern, was, the drop in temperature with any light amount. And I think overall everything balanced out fairly well. I know it was more of an issue down toward Bowling Green, Breckenridge County, Grayson, even parts of Hardin County did pick up some light icing last night. We're 23 degrees right now into Louisville, 14 at the moment into Bedford. Ouch, that's got a sting. And when you factor in the wind chill, there's not a huge wind right now, but there is a wind chill. In Louisville, it feels like 13 at the moment, and 7. You can count them on, well, you need 2 hands. But 7, that's what it feels like right now as you head towards Seymour. All right. Quiet at the moment. The satellite is probably one of the bigger stories today because it is trying to allow more of these sun breaks to get into the area. Now, because of the way the sun rose this morning, we were able to get some sun rays right into much of the region. Unfortunately, the way the sun angle will be later today is going to be back and forth into an overcast setup at times. So we're going to see hazy sunshine. You may get a few rays in Indiana more than you will in Kentucky, and there'll be times it'll be just flat out overcast. So back and forth, or peekaboo sunshine expected for the day today. But it will be quiet. No rain, sleet, snow, freezing rain, anything like that is coming our way during the day today. We will stay quiet and dry. Temperatures actually have a good chance to get above freezing in many spots. Some of you may not get to that level, but I do think Louisville will. All right, so what about our next system coming our way? Well, as the sun comes up, that's why the image starts off dark there. It's lighting up the clouds. The flow is still the same. It's still chugging away. A southwest flow right into the Ohio Valley. Cold Arctic air still settling in from the north. They're still overlapped. One of the issues now, though, that is happening with this last push of cold air last night that moved in is the air is very dry in the region at the moment. And that dry air is really pushing down into Kentucky. So this next wave that is going to move in from the south and west, there were trends on this trying to pull it north. And then this morning, I looked at everything again, and everything's trying to trend right back down again. And the reason for that is the dry air. So what will likely happen is our next system is likely to produce a mix of snow, sleet, freeze, and rain again back into the Tennessee Valley. And you may see some snow or some of the blue show up on the radar flying over to Kentucky, but I really doubt much of that will even make it to the ground. Looking at what we call a dew point depression, which is basically the temperature, the gap between the temperature and the dew point, it's fairly stout tonight. So there's not much for the atmosphere to work with. Now, typically you can get more flurries out of this than you would, say, a drizzle scenario if it was warmer. So I can't route a few flurries. But at the moment, I think every county that we have will likely stay out of this one as long as the dry air holds. So that's some good news. We need a nice little break, and it looks like we will get one this second wave. So we'll be watching it. You see it already starting to develop into areas that have already been hit nonstop. I think Memphis area, eastern Arkansas has been under a ice storm warning for like 3 days now straight. I don't think it expires until tomorrow. Pretty wild for them. And it's not just a constant icing. It's just the idea that there's too many systems to go through. They can't let go of the advisory because they don't want to confuse people. So been kind of a mess for the areas of the Ark-La-Tex area, Dallas, all the way into Western Tennessee. But we've actually been fairly lucky out of this. So we've had some minor impacts overall. So let's get right into Futurecast. There's the freezing line. You can see overall it shows the try to bump it up above freezing in many spots today. Notice the cloud shield, again, hugging across Kentucky and points south. And there's the system. Look how it scoots across southern areas of Kentucky, just right there. I mean, those of you down into Adair County, you can probably wave at it as it zips on by. Nashville may get something out of it. Good. I'm happy for them. All right, and then the rest of us will stay relatively quiet. Now, Thursday, I should mention in general, tomorrow may get about 40, actually. Thursday could be a nice, warm day. But Friday, here comes the next Arctic front. And this is actually one of the stronger fronts we have moving into the area for the entire week. But as I mentioned, it's moving into an area that doesn't really have any moisture already. So this thing is trying to act like a shovel and try to scoop up what it can. and there's just nothing to work with. So the only way I see that this is going to have on producing any moisture at all for the wee hours of your Friday morning is lake effect. It would have to pull in from areas of Lake Michigan or even off Erie and try to pull some moisture along the front. So as I animate this, you're going to see some of this snow shower activity, mainly because of the moisture being pulled off the lakes, trying to get pulled into the front as well. You won't see much on the other side of it toward the tail end. And this, again, the front should move throughout. See, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, Friday morning, you will know it. The wind will kick up, and there will be a nice drop in temperature. It just moves right into the area, and I think we may even get back into the lower teens in some areas for Friday morning. So Friday is going to be quite cold, quite cold. And you can see even the stripes of moisture that were pulled with the front off the lakes, trying to provide for lake effect snow. We're going to account for flurries with this. It's the typical spots that would get any off of Lake Michigan. So it's going to be Jennings County, Carroll, Trimble, Owen County, maybe Henry. You guys may get something out as far as flurries. All right, nothing major. The rest of us will likely stay on the clear side, but cold. Then after that moves by, we get ready for a nice and quiet weekend coming our way. Here's one of the longer range here on the Euro, showing how we do have a front moving in Tuesday. Looks like Tuesday. This has got a lot of wind with it. I think it's going to be quite windy actually on Tuesday, but a warm wind. And rain is back. Now, here's the deal. This is the day. This is where it gets confusing when it comes to all the salt that's on your car right now. You want to take care of it the next couple of days. I get it. You want to get the salt off the car. But at the same time, you got to keep in mind that once we get a rain event, which will be Tuesday, it will only kick back up again, the residue on the roadways. So when that splashes back up in your windshield, it'll recoat your car again back into an icy, or not icy, or a salty look once again. So you'll have to wash your car twice in this event at some point the next couple of days, and then you'll have to wash it after this rain on Tuesday. That's how the car wash business keeps going, right? So heads up on it. I don't see anything strong with this or severe. It looks like a general rain Tuesday. And I do not see snow after it. In fact, there's a second wave that'll be on the tail end of it, but it'll likely pass to our south. There's just no Arctic air for this to pull with. It's just not there. The polar vortex is heading back to its home. It was stretched out for a while. It's heading back to its home for the next, I would say, 7 to 10 days. It'll be at the North Pole. Will it come back for another visit? Well, given how we have seen the pattern the past several winters where we've been attacked by some form of it in March, and I think it was last year, right? April, we got some cold impacts out of that and even some snow. So it seems to be a trend where we still are at risk of getting cold attacks, but we're getting into the latter half of the winter season. And as a snow lover, hey, I love snow. But once it's March, I'm ready. I'm ready for spring. I'm ready for spring in April. Let's get things going here. So the snow, though, I know they don't last very long, those snow events, once you get into the spring, but it's really the cold more than anything. It's really hard to move on with happiness of spring, right, when you get these cold attacks. But so far, the signals are there that we may indeed end up with some problems as we move into the latter half here of the winter season. So let me show you. Here is the EPO from the Euro. Again, below the black line indicates a good chance and lean anyway to calm down the West Coast to give us a more active East Coast scenario or colder, stormier. It wants to go positive for the next 10 days, 10 to 14, indicating we will have more storms. Will be cutting too. By the way, the NAO is positive, so the storms will be cutting once again back more into the lakes. The GFS is not really sure what it wants to do, but it overall wants to try to take it negative. So when you look at the GFS runs, you model watchers out there, you will likely see more colder runs at times or colder solutions showing wintry weather back in the region. This is why it's struggling with the EPO. The Euro is going to handle it better. So the idea of it going positive is more likely. In fact, I looked at the CFS modeling, just did a snapshot. This is what it looks like for Valentine's Day for temperatures aloft. And you could see where it's trying to do that. It's trying to be a classic back to the West Coast, being active and cold and snowy. The East Coast gets a nice little blowtorch coming our way. Now, we don't want to see that too early in the season because we get into a thunderstorm talk, but that would be mid-February that's showing up. So now, hold on, we got a spammer. Hold on. Let me get rid of the spammer. Spammers attack me. All right, got them. I think it's all of them, right? Good. Okay, now, are you ready? Now I'm going to show you what it is showing for March. Yeah. So, and it's not the only one saying this. There are others. So I do think March, if the data holds, could be a month that's going to be, it's going to steam. It's going to steam is the best way to word it. And again, you're looking at anomalies at this point based on averages compared to normal. And we get into March, your averages start going up, obviously. We start to get into a warmer scenario. So they become a little more dramatic. It looks like it's brutally cold here on this. I don't think it's going to be brutally cold, just colder than normal. Okay, it's important to note that. But here we go. We'll see what happens. But at least we get it. We get a break here for the next 10 days. I think we're okay. We're fine. We get a chance to, get some stuff done outside if we need to, run errands, have your Valentine's dates, whatever you need to do. I think we're okay on that end. But as we head further into February and March, we may get busy once again. So there you go. Easy enough, right? Any questions? Everyone's really quiet today. I think everyone's exhausted, right? Mary's like, yeah, I'm just ready for spring. All right, bring it on. Lauren, adios, polar vortex. Well, don't say that too loud. You can hear you. And Kathy, no, ready for the flowers to bloom in March. A lot of them are coming up. A lot I've seen, I guess it is. I know daffodils are up. Tulips, I guess tulips can come up this early. I know they don't bloom for a while, but I do think they come up. I'm not a good green thumb person, so you guys probably know more than I do, but I think that's what's coming up in the weather garden as well. All right, guys, you're awesome. Appreciate your comments and watching as always. Take a nice little breath. We'll keep an eye on the southern wave tonight, make sure it behaves itself. And then obviously we'll keep an eye on the flurry machine potential as we head into Friday morning. Otherwise, get ready for another cold attack Friday early in the day and enjoy some of that sun that we're going to try to get today. I'll see you guys coming up on midday. Take care.